Most people live their entire lives as beggars. They might wear expensive suits, drive fast cars, or occupy high office positions, but internally, they are pleading with fate. They wake up every morning and beg the universe for a break. They beg for a promotion, beg for a partner to love them, and beg for the world to stop being so difficult. They are chasers. And the tragic law of the universe is this: the more you chase, the faster the prize runs away. This is the status quo, a weak, chaotic existence where your happiness is a hostage to external circumstances. When you chase, you radiate a frequency of lack. You are essentially telling the universe that you do not have what you need, and the universe, in its infinite coldness, agrees with you. The average person chases shadows and catches nothing. They live in a state of anxious greed, a vibration of lack that tells the world they are not enough as they are. But the Stoic knows a secret that the modern world has forgotten. You do not manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. While the world is out there screaming for attention, the Stoic is building an internal fortress of character. He demands nothing, prepares for everything, and in doing so, he becomes a gravitational force. He stops being a seeker and starts being a magnet. The unshakable Stoic knows that to master the world, one must first master the self. This is the rare and controlled path of the sovereign. When you master your internal state, you realize that a mind that cannot be shaken by loss is the only mind truly capable of sustaining abundance. Today we are going to dismantle the chaser identity and replace it with the sovereign identity. We are going to explore the 7 Stoic rules that will transmute your character into a magnet for success, power, and peace. If you want everything to come to you, you must first become the person it wants to come to. Stay with us until the end, because number 4 is something most people don't expect. The first rule of Stoic manifestation is the most fundamental, the dichotomy of control. Most people are obsessed with the prize, the external. They focus on the bank balance, the subscriber count, or the opinion of others. Because these things are not entirely within their control, they live in constant anxiety. This anxiety is a repellent. It is the smell of desperation. It creates a weak energy that signals to the world that you are a slave to circumstances. The Stoic, however, has a precision of focus. He realizes that the prize is a byproduct, not the goal. The goal is the excellence of the soul. Epictetus, who was born into the chains of slavery but died a master of his own mind, taught that our only true power lies in our opinions, our intentions, and our own actions. Everything else is indifferent. This doesn't mean you don't care about results. It means you recognize that results are the harvest, but your effort is the seed. When you stop trying to control the wind, you finally become a master of the sails. The chaser is constantly looking at the fruit of the tree, wondering when it will ripen, fearing a storm will knock it down. The Stoic focuses entirely on the roots. He waters the tree, strengthens the soil, and prunes the weak branches with discipline. He doesn't need to manifest the fruit. The fruit is an inevitable consequence of the root's health. By focusing only on what is within your control, you develop an internal fortress that no external storm can breach. This is the essence of gravitas. If you want the life of a king, you must first possess the character of one. Focus on the source, and the results will follow with a mathematical certainty. The second rule is amor fati, not just the acceptance of fate, but the love of it. The chaser hates obstacles. Every time something goes wrong, every time a plan fails or a person leaves, it's a personal insult to his manifestation plan. He views a setback as a sign that the universe is against him. This resistance creates friction, and friction slows your progress. It creates an internal state of war that drains your energy and prevents you from seeing opportunities. The unshakable Stoic consumes obstacles like fire consumes wood. To manifest greatness, you must love the struggle as much as the victory. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world as the Emperor of Rome, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is the ultimate transmutation. You aren't just tolerating the bad, you are using it as fuel. When you adopt amor fati, you stop being a victim of your circumstances and start being the architect of your destiny. You realize that the bad things happening to you are actually the very materials you need to build your internal fortress. By loving your fate, you remove the power of external events to hurt you. When nothing can hurt you, you become formidable. You no longer move through the world with the beggar's fear of loss. You move with the sovereign's confidence of growth. You manifest abundance because you are no longer at war with reality. There is a counterintuitive power in indifference. Rule 3 is the practice of voluntary hardship. Most people spend their lives running away from discomfort, which makes them slaves to their comforts. If you are terrified of losing your money, your status, or your lifestyle, you are not free. And if you are not free, you cannot be a magnet. You are a puppet. Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in Rome and an advisor to emperors, would regularly set aside days to live on the scantiest of fare and wear coarse clothing, asking himself, "Is this what I feared?" He practiced being poor while he was rich so that he would never be a slave to his wealth. By actively practicing discomfort, you develop an immunity to the fear of loss. This is the ultimate manifestation tool. Why? Because you cannot be a slave to what you aren't afraid to lose. When the world sees that you don't need the luxury to be whole, the luxury starts to pursue you. You possess a gravitas that the desperate chaser can never emulate. You are anchored in yourself, and that stability is what attracts true, enduring wealth. Desperation is a repellent. Indifference is a magnet. To stop needing is to start possessing. Rule 4 is a shift in perspective known as the view from above. The chaser is trapped in his own ego. His problems feel monumental. His desires feel like life or death situations. This narrow focus creates a heavy energy, a frantic, chaotic vibration that suggests he is the center of a very small, very stressed out universe. The Stoic practices transcendence. He imagines zooming out from his body, rising above his house, above his city, above the earth, until his problems are microscopic dots in the vastness of time and space. When you shrink your ego, your capacity to hold power expands. This is the rule most people don't expect, because we are taught that manifesting requires us to think we are the most important person in the room. Stoicism says the opposite. Realize how small you are, and you will become as vast as the cosmos. By realizing the insignificance of your temporary troubles, you achieve a state of equilibrium. You no longer act out of desperation. You act from a place of sovereign peace. From this high vantage point, you see the patterns of the world more clearly. You make better decisions because you aren't blinded by the fog of your own emotions. You move with a calm authority that commands respect. You manifest a better life not by shouting at the world, but by becoming so large in spirit that the world's problems can no longer touch you. The weak announce their plans to get validation. Rule 5 is strategic silence. The chaser is always talking, posting about his goals, telling everyone what he's going to manifest, seeking the dopamine hit of approval before he has even done the work. This is a leak of energy. Every time you tell someone your big plans, you release the tension required to actually achieve them. The Stoic knows that energy spent talking is energy stolen from creating. He executes in silence. He builds his empire in the dark so he can own it in the light. This creates an internal wealth, a reservoir of untapped power. While others are busy trying to look successful, the Stoic is busy being successful. When you stop seeking external validation, you stop being dependent on the world's opinion. You become anchored. People are naturally drawn to those who are self-contained and sovereign. There is a mystery and a weight to a man or woman who doesn't feel the need to explain themselves or defend their vision. Silence is the vibration of the powerful. It says, "I don't need you to believe in me because I already possess the reality I am creating." This internal fortress of silence acts as a vacuum that draws results toward you. Rule 6 is premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. While modern manifestation gurus tell you to only think positive thoughts and visualize the prize, the Stoic uses negative visualization as a superpower. Seneca said, "The man who has anticipated the coming of troubles takes away their power when they arrive." By imagining the loss of everything you value, your health, your wealth, your reputation, you remove the anxiety that prevents you from winning. The chaser is paralyzed by the what-ifs. He moves through the world with a brittle energy, terrified that a single mistake will ruin him. The Stoic has already faced the what-ifs in his mind and found himself standing. In vain, this removes the anxious greed that act as a repellent to success. When you are no longer afraid of failure, you can take the bold risks necessary for massive abundance. You transmute fear into preparation. You become formidable because you are the only person in the room who isn't afraid of the worst-case scenario. When you are prepared for everything, you are surprised by nothing, and you move with a precision that makes success inevitable. And when you aren't afraid to lose, you become incredibly hard to beat. The final and most powerful rule is non-attachment. Grip the world loosely. This is the law of reversed effort. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you stop needing a result, you create the space for that result to settle in your life. Most people grip their desires so tightly they crush them. They want the money so badly they become a slave to it before they even have it. Desperation is the ultimate repellent. When you need someone to love you, they feel the pressure and run. When you need a business deal to close, you project a scent of weakness that invites the other party to take advantage of you. But when you are indifferent to the outcome, when you can truly say, "I would like this, but if it doesn't happen, I will still be whole," you become a magnet. This is the sovereignty of the Stoic. It's not about the everything you get, it's about the peace and power you feel while getting it. You become an internal fortress that is already full. From a state of fullness, you naturally attract more. You don't need the world to give you anything, and because of that, the world gives you everything. This is the paradox of the magnet.